Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So according to The Guardian, Manchester United have put Jesse Lingard up for sale and reportedly Everton are interested in him. I think if we sell Jesse Lingard in this summer transfer window, we will get around £20 million or just a bit more than £20 million. Now, Jesse Lingard is under contract with Man United until 2021, so he's got around a year or just under a year left on his current contract, but there is also an option of a further year. Now, Jesse Lingard has been at the club for several years, like Solskjaer was saying before, but actually Jesse Lingard wants to stay at Manchester United because he believes he's got a foreseeable future from now at the football club. Now, Solskjaer is an admirer of the player because Solskjaer did coach Jesse Lingard when he was a youth player. Now, Jesse Lingard has scored in his last two appearances. Obviously, he scored in our 2-1 win against Lask in last 16 of the Europa League second leg. And he also scored in our 2-0 win against Leicester on the final day of the Premier League season. That was actually his first goal for Manchester United since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge. So that just indicates how inconsistent Jesse Lingard has been. But since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes and since the emergence of Mason Greenwood, Jesse Lingard has found game time very, very difficult. Don't get me wrong, throughout this Europa League campaign, he will get more opportunities. I think, is Jesse Lingard is he 28 years of age now? Is he 29? I know that he is in his late 20s. Don't forget, at one point, Lingard went, was it over a year without one goal or one assist in the Premier League for Man United. But don't forget, Jesse Lingard's had quite a few loan spells. He had a loan spell at Leicester, Birmingham, Brighton and Derby. But I think, we're going to sell Lingard in this summer transfer window. But, if he does leave Manchester United, will he continue plying his trade in the Premier League or will he go abroad? Even Paul Scholes has given his perception on it, and he thinks, Man United could sell Lingard in this summer transfer window because, personally speaking, I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, I just want to give you some breaking news regarding Diego Dalot. Now, according to recent reports, Everton are also interested in Diego Dalot. And Everton are convinced that they can get him for around £10 million. Now, same perception on Dalot of what I've got of Jesse Lingard. I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. Dalot has found game time very, very difficult at the football club. I think Dalot has only made 11 appearances in all competitions this season, and I think he only made one start in the Premier League. But earlier on in the Premier League season, I think Dalot had back-to-back injuries. He can play as a fullback and he can also play as a winger. I think Dalot has been at the club now, is it a couple of years? We did get Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We paid around £19 million in from Porto, and he has got a contract with the football club until 2023. Don't forget, Dalot wasn't part of the squad for our second leg against Lask, but it was explained why Diego Dalot was absent because allegedly he was injured. But wouldn't want to sell him for £10 million because obviously we're getting less than what we actually paid for him. The main explanation why Everton want him because they are seeing him as a long-term replacement for Seamus Coleman. Don't forget Leighton Baton played for Everton, but obviously now he has retired. So I think we need to get rid of both of them players. But don't forget, before PSG have inquired about Diego Dalot's availability, also to Barcelona have been in for him. I think he is only the age of 19, or is he 20 now, Diego Dalot? So that's the news on that. Just want to give you some news on Chong. I think I mentioned this on one of my videos yesterday. And it's also stemming from Sky Sports, and Sky Sports is a reliable source. and they have said that Man United will allow Chong to go out on loan in this summer transfer window. So obviously, he can get regular first team football, because Chong's found game time very, very difficult at Manchester United. It does actually say that Werder Bremen are interested in getting him, and reportedly Chong's agent has confirmed that Chong wants to go to the Bundesliga. Don't forget, back in March, Chong had signed a 2-year contract at the football club to keep him under contract with the club until 2022. Reportedly, Chong's already turned down move to Juventus, PSG. I think he's turned down a few clubs at the moment, and also to Barcelona, if I am right. But yeah, so reportedly Werder Bremen are interested in getting him. Chong did make his debut for the football club in our 2-0 win against Reading in the FA Cup last season. I think that was the 3rd round. But like I said, I think Man United are going to loan quite a few players out. Solskjaer's going to decide on what players he's going to loan out, or he's already made his decision. I also believe as well we're going to loan James Garner out, because obviously, James Garner's been finding game time very, very difficult at the football club. He did recently say the likes of Cardiff, Swansea, and I think Sheffield Wednesday have been interested in James Garner. Also to Dylan Levitt, there's a chance we could loan him out, because he's finding game time hard. I think we should loan Tuanzebe and Fosu-Mensah out, because they've found game time pretty difficult. But there again, Fosu-Mensah, did play in the last game. He did start at right back, and he played a couple of our league games towards the end of the season. I think we should also loan Daniel James out, because Daniel James now, he's going to find game time very, very difficult, and he was finding game time hard towards the end of the season because we was playing Mason Greenwood ahead of him. I wouldn't get rid of Daniel James permanently, because I think overall he's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. Personally speaking, I think Solskjaer overplayed Daniel James this season, played around 30 odd games. It was a cheap solution. We got Daniel James last summer from Swansea for around £15 million. But in general, we're going to get rid of quite a lot of players in this summer transfer window. Marcus Rojo, I hope we can get rid of him on a permanent transfer, because he has been out on loan at Estudiantes, hasn't he? Reportedly, Marcus Rojo has had a private chat with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he said, he wants to remain at Estudiantes. Obviously, Rojo went out on loan to Estudiantes in January. We did obviously get Rojo from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014. Didn't we pay around 15 or 16 million pounds for him? So he did enjoy a good 5.5 years at Man United. Rojo, obviously, Rojo's got a contract at Man United until 2021, and he did make a total of 122 appearances for the football club in all competitions. Also too, I want Manchester United to get rid of Phil Jones, because obviously Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team now. Phil Jones has been a long servant at Manchester United. This has been it was his 9th season at the club, and he's actually approached his 10th year now at Manchester United. So he's another player that needs to go. I think we also need to get rid of Andres Pereira, because I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. A lot of his appearances have come from the substitutes bench. He's also found game time very, very difficult. Juan Mata, some United fans will say we need to sell him in this summer transfer window, but I don't think we'll sell him in this summer transfer window. I know Juan Mata doesn't get in the team a lot now, but when he does get given his chances, he does make an impact. He did get both the assists in the game against Lask. This has been Juan Mata's 6th season at Manchester United. We did get him for just under £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. So yeah, I don't think he'll leave in this summer transfer window. We had the positive news regarding Alexis Sanchez yesterday, because it was made official that Sanchez had joined Inter Milan on a permanent deal. Inter Milan obviously got him on a free transfer, so they didn't pay any fee for him. And Sanchez has signed a contract with Inter Milan until 2023, so it is a 3-year deal. And I believe that Inter Milan are paying him around 130 grand a week after tax. And reportedly, Sanchez is being handed a £9 million payoff, reflects on his free transfer to Inter Milan. But I'm glad we've got rid of him permanently, because it has freed up our wage bill completely. Solskjaer did confirm it after our game against Lask that, Sanchez would have officially joined Inter Milan yesterday, and Di Marzio and Fabrizio Romano, who were two very reliable Italian journalists, they confirmed it earlier on this week. I just want to give you some breaking news on Jadon Sancho, sorry. Now, reportedly, we've been given a boost in our pursuit of Jadon Sancho, because reportedly, Borussia Dortmund have extended their initial deadline for Sancho, because it did say at the first that Borussia Dortmund had set their deadline for the sale of Sancho on the 10th of August, but now reportedly they're going to give us time to complete the deal, so reportedly now we've got until the 20th of August to sign Jadon Sancho. Borussia Dortmund have basically said that we've got to get a deal completed before they fly out to Switzerland for their pre-season games. And it does also mention we are planning to put our first bid in for Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. Obviously, they have said that they want over £100 million. We have said several times we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding. I think we've set our limit, and we're only willing to pay up to £80 million for the player. Now, don't forget, the Borussia Dortmund CEO, he came out recently and denied that Man United have been in advanced talks to sign Sancho, and he said, we have not yet put any bidding for the player. Recently also said that Jadon Sancho's deal to Manchester United could be off, and it said that talks have broken down. Main explanation is because of Borussia Dortmund's asking price. But Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he came out earlier on this week and he said that Jadon Sancho's agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he has agreed a 5-year contract with the football club worth in the region of £250,000 a week. It also mentioned that the fee had been agreed. It said that, Man United had paid an initial £90 million over 3 annual instalments, and it said there'd be like 18 million in add-ons based on Jadon Sancho's performances. But I think we're looking to pay around, is it 60 or 70 million pounds up front. But yeah, so obviously if we get this deal over the line for Jadon Sancho, obviously he will be our most expensive signing, and he will be the most expensive English player in history. Now, as far as I'm aware, Sancho still wants to come to Manchester United, and I've already outlined the reasons why I want him at the football club, because he is well proven in the Premier League. Also, too, got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, and he is predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for a right winger. Now, obviously, we know if we sign Sancho, he will be our next number 7. Obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. If we sign Sancho, it's definitely going to be the signing of the summer without a shadow of a doubt. He is our number 1 priority target, and he has been our number 1 priority target for a while. We first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017. He's enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. I think his stats throughout the course of this season have been very, very impressive. He scored like 20 goals and provided 20 assists in 40-odd games. Borussia Dortmund only paid 8 mil for him from City, so they got him for next to nothing. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. You know, Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career. Before he was at Dortmund, was at City, enjoyed 2 years with City. And before he was at City, he was at Watford. And he was at Watford for several years. You know, is there a possibility, chance that, you know, Jadon Sancho's move to Man United could be announced today? Because there was reports coming out earlier on this week saying that Sancho should be officially a Manchester United player today. You know, this is, you know, what it had said. But I think Manchester City are entitled to £15 million if Sancho does leave Dortmund in this summer transfer window. Dortmund have come to accept the fact now anyway that Sancho wants to leave, so they are now in the market looking for replacements for him. You know, they've recently been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They've also been looking at Rashika from Werder Bremen. You know, there was recently looking at Jonathan Ecope from Lille. But Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they've let a lot of good players go in recent years. You know, they let likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go. They also let Christian Pulisic go. They let Ukwan Gundogan go, Mkhitaryan, and like Kagawa go at one point. They let Lewandowski go. They let Ousmane Dembele go. They let Matt Hummels go. But there again, you know, looking at it on the other side, you know, Dortmund have done some good recruitment in recent years. You know, they got Jude Bellingham in a few weeks ago for around 20 odd million. You know, they got Erling Haaland in January. You know, there's other players that they've brought in recent years. Julian Brandt, Thorgan Hazard. Emre Can, they also got him permanently. But I just want us to sign Jadon Sancho. But I presume he will be our first signing in this summer transfer window and our 5th permanent signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously, no, Ed Woodward was recently accused of making a fundamental error in our negotiations for Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, no, we have been looking at a few alternatives to him. Because I will make an admission, you know, these much cheaper solutions than Sancho. Obviously, you know, there's people instructing us to go in for Kingsley Coman. We inquired about getting him on loan the other week from Bayern Munich if we don't get Sancho. We looked at Thiago Almeida before. We looked at Robin Matondo from Schalke. We looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. At one point, we looked at Ferran Torres from Valencia, but now he's at City. It recently said that we'd put a £49 million bid in for Federico Chiesa. From Florentina and that. But, yeah. But I want Jadon Sancho at Manchester United because Sancho is a player that can create chances. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And he is, of course, very, very clinical. And he's still only at the age of 20. And he would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly because Solskjaer did say earlier on in his managerial career he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United and that. So that is the breaking news on Jadon Sancho. But there's obviously been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda. Big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window. I think we're going to recruit well because obviously, you know, we've got qualification for the Champions League. And when you get qualification for the Champions League, you have got much greater chance of attracting players to the elite level. And obviously, we did finish third. Don't forget, in the season as well, we progressed to 2 semi-finals. We got to the EFL Cup semi-final, and we also progressed to the FA Cup semi-final. So overall, you can say that Man United had a good season, and you can definitely say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer exceeded expectations. But earlier on in the season, don't forget, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, Solskjaer was so close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But I'm just very, very delighted that I proved his critics wrong because I was very, very critical of him earlier on in the season, and so too were a lot of Manchester United fans. But, it was only Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. Like I said, the big test for Solskjaer is next season because next season Solskjaer is aware that he will have bigger expectations to exceed. And obviously, next season is Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. But next season, I expect Manchester United to challenge for the Premier League title. What are you doing?
Stripping your bed. Right in the bed.
I expect Man United to challenge for the Premier League title and that, because this has been the 7th season we've failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So yeah, big expectations to exceed. There really is. But like I said, Solskjaer said he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window, and obviously he's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. But our main focus at the moment is the Europa League. We are into our 27th European quarter-final. And I think we are the favourites to win the Europa League. But win the Europa League, it would be our first trophy under Solskjaer and our first trophy in over 3 years and that. But Solskjaer's been at the football club now over a year and a half. And he has been permanent Manchester United manager for around, 16 and a half months. Like I said, he's still got a goalkeeping decision to make. I think we need to put Dean Henderson as number 1 for next season, because he has now got that experience behind him as Dean Henderson, because he's had 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. We know that De Gea has been our number 1 for several years, so we've got a goalkeeping decision to make. But reflecting how long Solskjaer's been at the club now, he has learnt a lot, hasn't he? I think now he knows his best 11, he knows his best formation. Don't forget there was a period when he went with the same team for 5 games in a row in the Premier League, and that was the first time since February 1993. But he did make a lot of rotation throughout the course of the season, but that was reflecting on the injuries that Manchester United had. Like I said, Solskjaer promoted the youth very well throughout the course of the season. Our record against the top 6 sides was also very good. Our recruitment's definitely improved under him. Because so far Solskjaer spent just over £200 million at Man United. So far he's made 4 permanent signings. Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure he wanted to make around 9 signings. He actually agreed this with Mike Phelan, because he wants to overhaul the Manchester United squad. We've got around 7-8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, so we have got to make a decision on them players, but we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer came in to the football club. We really haven't that. But like I said, I've seen improvements under him. There's still improvements needed. I think there's still certain players that I've got to improve. I think we need to keep the ball better. We need to be quicker on the flanks. Our football needs to look a bit more expansive than that. But we have seen an upturn in form since January, haven't we? Unbeaten in our last 14 league games. We did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. But this summer transfer window, Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Man United manager. Obviously, we've got £140 million to spend. But looking like the vast majority of that's going to be going on Jadon Sancho, but our transfer budget will increase because obviously we are going to sell players. It confirmed just before the resumption of the season that we had taken a £140 million loan. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of the board, and he's instructed the board to go and get his preferred tags. He's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers and that. But like I said to you, there has been problems at the football club for several years. Not only with the managers we've had a lot of problems with Ed Woodward. We've had a lot of problems with the club's ownership with the Glazers. We've had a lot of problems with the club's board and that. So there has been a hell of a lot of problems at the club in the last 7 years. We've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, we sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We spent a good £900 million on players in total since Ferguson retired. And we've recruited a good 32, 33 players in since Ferguson left. That includes who we've brought in so far under Solskjaer. But I said to one of my videos, didn't I, was it earlier on this week? I said, can Solskjaer be the next Ferguson? Because don't forget, it took Ferguson time to settle in. He didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. Ferguson did endure 26, 27 years at the club and enjoyed like 22, 23 years of success. We won a total of 38 major honours under the Alex Ferguson era, including 13 Premier League titles. I said to you, I'm very sceptical that anyone will replicate Ferguson's legacy and no one will last as long as Alex Ferguson did. But obviously our success came under Ferguson because apart from Ferguson, we have been mainly inconsistent, poor under Moyes, poor under Van Gaal. Well, we started well under Van Gaal, but after that we was poor. You can say we did okay under Jose Mourinho in his first season because obviously we got second in Mourinho's first season and plus we won 2 trophies. Also, too, was very inconsistent under Ron Atkinson. Was inconsistent under Wolf McGuinness. McGuinness endured 18 months at the club. Also, was poor under Frank O'Farrell. We actually got relegated under Frank O'Farrell and that. But I want Solskjaer's managerial tenure to work out at Man United because I like him a lot. He's a club legend. And he has got that managerial experience behind him now, reflecting how long he's been here. And Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. But recently, we've been replicating what we did in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first 3 months at the football club because we was exceptional in that first 3 months when Solskjaer was the interim manager. We really, really wasn't that. So that's the latest news on all of this. Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille reportedly has made a decision. He reportedly wants to join Arsenal. Lille have said they want around £27 million for the player, so he's a cheap solution, but I can't see Manchester United getting him. He is a centre-half. Don't forget we are in search for a centre-half, despite the fact we've got 7 centre-halves in the team, because we're looking for someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Fitz Lindelof, obviously not on Harry Maguire's level. Eric Bailly's always injured, so I think United do need a centre-half. Probably got a decision to make at left-back as well. I think probably Luke Shaw's going to remain our first choice left-back for next season because he's more experienced than Brandon Williams, but I still think Brandon Williams has enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. Recently signed a 4-year contract with the football club and to keep at the club till 2024, plus there was an option of a further year. So I think in the next couple of years, Williams will become our first choice left-back. But I think we're actually looking to sign a left-back. Looking to sign a left-back and all of that. I give you the news regarding Paul Pogba yesterday. A lot of positive news coming out regarding Pogba. Fabrizio Romano come out and said that, Pogba's happy at Man United. He wants to stay at the club. And Man United are going to enter negotiations soon with his agent Mini Raiola over getting him a new contract at the club. I presume he'll sign a 4 or a 5 year deal. These stories were coming out a couple of weeks before the season finished that we want to extend Pogba's contract and Mini Raiola's waiting for the offer and that. And it did mention that we was close to getting him a 5 year deal at the club. Pogba's got just under a year left on his current contract at the moment, but the club do have an option to extend it for the further year. It's very imperative we keep Paul Pogba because we'll find it hard to get a replacement of Paul Pogba's calibre or level, won't we? So I ain't had a perception on him throughout the course of the season because he's been obviously, he was out with that ankle injury for a long time. I think towards the start of the resumption of the season, though, to be fair to him, he did make a fantastic impact, did Pogba. So positive news coming out regarding him. Chris Smalling, we know now he's back at Manchester United. Solskjaer was recently talking about Smalling, saying that he thinks he's got a future at Man United. I thought we'd have got rid of Smalling permanently, to be honest with you, but Roma couldn't extend his loan. I think we wanted around £18 million to get rid of Smalling permanently, but Roma weren't willing to meet this. Roma paid $2.7 million last summer to get him on loan, but Solskjaer was saying that he was in regular contact with Smalling, whilst he was on loan with Roma and that, you know. But like I said, Man United, still one of the biggest clubs in the world, fantastic history, fantastic fan base. You know, we have won a total of 45 trophies in our history in that. But we win the Europa League, like I said, that will be our 46th trophy in total. But I think we need more than Sancho. Sancho's not enough for us, you know, to win big prizes and that. You know, we need more than him, definitely. But, you know, Sancho is definitely a start. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.